Hey viewers, welcome to another game of CasualProGamer. Today we're doing a game between Daigoro as the Terran in the bottom right corner and Nyast as the Protoss in the top left corner. So another Terran versus Protoss. Of course there are only 6 matchups that you can get, so it's kind of repetitive in that way. But it is all good. Because even though the matchup is the same, we rarely see similar games, to be honest, because everyone has their own strategies, everyone also has their own, well, kind of level of micro, and with different levels of micro and different levels of how fast you can macro, you get completely different fights and completely different results. So I really like that about this game, that even though you only have 3 races, you still have an infinite number of possibilities. Because even though you can only build in one, well, even if you only build one specific way, you will still go up against different armies on the opponents, and you will still get, well, all kinds of different fights out there, and you will also just get different results in those fights. Because especially if you're really good at microing, you can really do well against some armies, but other armies, it really doesn't matter. Because some armies don't require any micro, sorry. All armies require macro. Because that is just the way you build units. So we immediately have 3 workers on that gas. Here we just have pylons and 1 gateway coming up. Now the simulator comes up a little bit later than the Terran player. But the Terran player, yeah, he's going to use that to build his factory, I believe. Although it's still a long way away from that. And he didn't wall off his ramp. Normally we see the wall off of the ramp for the simple reason that you want to prevent this scout from coming in. And in this case, that is not so much the case, and that means that the Terran is actually going to be behind on supply depots as well. Because he's not walling off, which means that he didn't build that second supply depot, and he kind of stopped producing the workers, which is something you should never, ever, ever, ever do. So I'm going to guess that he is going to be behind in the later stages of the game, because he is already behind. And why would you build a command center over here? It's going to get scouted anyway. So you normally build it on the high ground because then it doesn't get scouted, and then you can just fly it over. But now it gets scouted anyway because the probe is in the base. So yeah, might as well build it in the location where it's supposed to go instead of having to fly it over there. But anyway, whatever, you can do whatever you want. Supply depot now going down, but he's at 19 out of 19. So once again, the worker production has halted. So we have 25 workers versus 19 workers. And no, that's not entirely true. Hang on. I know how to do this. There you go, 17 versus 20 in fact. So he's not too far behind. But yeah, he is a few supply behind, which is something that you never want. And yeah, having 3 marines stacked up is also not very good. It's 150 minerals that you could have spent somewhere else, and now of course you have invested that in a queue, which means that it's not going to be on the map. It's not going to be useful for quite a bit. And you want to prevent those kind of stacks. You want to prevent the stacks of, well, anything being produced. So even if you're having trouble with macroing up, so even if you think, I'm going to forget it next time, you need to learn to not forget it. You don't want to stack up like a whole bunch of marines. It's okay, of course, to do it when there's like 5 seconds left. But it's not okay to do it straight up, because, well, having those marines just sit there means you can't produce workers, or you basically don't have the resources required to do something else. And that something can be a lot of things. So it can be this starport coming up. I mean, here, this widow mine. Widow mines are 75-25, so that's another 75-25 that's just wasted. And yeah, here, this is how you do it. You just put in what you can actually produce, and then once it builds, you get a message that it's actually done, and then you build new ones. But yeah, well, it takes a while to get used to that. By the way, Widow mines are awesome. For those of you who don't know that, they are just plain awesome. It seems that my computer is having some trouble with maintaining the FPS here. So that's why you every now and then see it, well, kind of drag down a little bit, the FPS, and I'm really not sure why. So I hope it's not too much of a problem, but I will probably have to kind of check on that. So we have 2 Reapers on the map. They are going to scout around a little bit. I'm not sure what they are supposed to do, because by now, yeah, kind of Reaper harass is a little bit too late by now. It doesn't really do anything anymore. They are still good scouting units, of course, but yeah, the thing is with Reapers, yeah, they used to be very good when you build a lot of them, but now they no longer do that extra damage to buildings, because they could take out buildings in like 2 seconds. So any building, so like a Nexus would go down in 2 seconds with like 6, 7, 8 Reapers. Because they did extra damage to those, and yeah, it was really hard to defend against that. That's also one of the reasons why they nerfed it, because they were really only good for that one thing, which was to just kill a building and then move back out. Which was, first of all, a little bit overpowered, but second of all, yeah, once you have the defense going, they're completely useless. Reapers are still pretty much useless, so they didn't really fix that. But at least now they are harass units. So you can actually harass workers with them and then run out, because with the new combat drugs, they will actually heal up, and he needs to get these Reapers into his army, because they do a lot of damage. So and you want that extra damage, of course, and especially because they will heal back up. Well, they did die there. So yeah, not too great. One of the Widow mines stayed behind here. Not actually sure if he notices. Yeah, he did notice it now. The Widow mines did get sucked into this this transport, and they're going to be transported into the enemy base. And let's see if he actually gets to do anything with them. Because if they burrow on the mineral lines, that is going to really suck for those. Yeah. Oh, does that have vision? Powerful long-range attack. It doesn't say that it actually provides vision as well of these kind of units. Oh wow, look at that, just outside of the range, which means he might actually run into that with his workers now. And of course the observer is out. He knows there are Widow mines on the map, so yeah, building an observer is kind of a useful thing. And just losing his entire army there. The Protoss is going to move forward here, but keep in mind that the Protoss is not producing anything at the moment. He is he's currently just doing whatever. And look at that, the Widow mine is sitting there, just being detected by the observer, but yeah, didn't really see it. Yeah, he does realize it now. And yeah, it does take out that one thing, but he could have just attacked it right now with all of these. Just attack it for like 2 seconds and it will go down, because that is the way it works. It can't shoot until it's back up, but no, he's going to wait until he has an actual attack unit, even though that is completely unnecessary. And well, he did lose a few of the drones there, probes, but well, the probes that he took off the minerals for so long took way longer. He should have just ran in with a few at least to kill that Widow mine, especially after it detonated. Because yeah, at that point, really nothing it can do anymore. And obviously, if you just run in one drone at a time, or sorry, a probe, then you also don't run the risk of a secondary Widow mine actually taking out all of your probes. But yeah, the Widow Mine did its job. It pulled off the things from the mineral lines, and that is exactly what we want. So we do have Stimpack. I don't know if he used it yet. It seems he did use it at some point. I don't know. I don't know. We will see. We will see. So yeah, big Protoss army by now. He is producing a Dark Shrine now, which means Dark Templar are going to come out. Dark Templar, of course, are very good against someone who is not prepared for it. And even though he has scans here, it doesn't mean that he actually has the micro required to deal with the Dark Templar. Because, well, we did see him make some mistakes earlier on. And, oh, a nice force field line, but is it going to be enough? The Medevac's doing a great job of just lifting up the entire army. And, yeah, he is going to lose some of his army, but then, yeah, he stays a little bit too close to the enemy army. So he lifted up his army, and then he leaves the rest of his army in range. So the point of those force fields is to split your army in two. And if you lift your army with your Medevacs, then that half of your army is safe. But if you then push the other part of the army up against the force field, you still only have half your army. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But well, that's the way it goes, I guess. Wow, he got lucky there. Oh my god, that was lucky. I have no clue why he scanned there, but he got really lucky with that. And there is a new Dark Templar out. Oh my god, he did so much damage to his own units there. So yeah, the Stimpack does go down this time. And we are going to do quite a lot of damage here, in fact. It's definitely not a bad fight for the Terran player, but the Protoss player just has more army. And yeah, the really big group of units really hasn't come out yet. Let's see what he's producing. Yeah, he is producing from some, but here, Tech Lab has 2 guys stacked up. This one also had 2 guys stacked up. He cancelled one apparently. The reactor has 3 guys stacked up. Yeah, then all of the rest only have 1 guy. But yeah, well, here also an extra Medevac stacked up. But yeah, it's just because we have only 2 bases, of course. The mining isn't good enough. Let's see the income. The income isn't good enough to actually do this. Yeah, he's about 500 behind, which is 50% of his income. Just keep that in mind. It is a lot of resources that you're behind on. And that is, of course, because these workers are just working way harder than his workers. Just all kinds of workers. And here it's 15 and here it's 13. So, yeah. Definitely could do with a few more workers and a few more bases. So yeah, all in all, I don't know. It seems that he just needs to build a few more workers. Let's see what we are actually at. Currently we are 53 versus 51, which means that the income should actually be in the advantage of the Terran player. So I don't know why it's not. Oh, it is now. Yeah, the Terran player has those mules, so he should be able to farm more than a Protoss player with the same amount. Obviously, those mules, well, they take in a lot of minerals, so that should rise the amount of minerals you get and the amount of everything you get, so resources, because it obviously doesn't split between resources and gas. Oh, this one does, by the way. Yeah, the income tab does. Never mind. So this one actually does. Yeah. Anyhow, the Terran army coming in, but it is all Marauders. Actually, all Marauders is not bad. It's not all Marauders. It's not all Marauders. Ah, completely missed the big group of Marines. Well, big. It's not a big group at all of anything. So yeah, the Terran player, the Protoss player going for High Templar here. That's a strange choice. But the Zealots is a really awesome choice. I don't know if he has... No, he doesn't have charge yet. charge would be very good, and obviously he's going to try to drop in another part of the base, because if the front of the base is completely covered, you might want to go for the back of the base and just do some damage there. Not actually sure if this is going to work, but at least he gets to drop it out. So he gets to drop his entire army here. And did he stim? He did not stim. Even though he has the stim packs, he didn't use them. And yeah, all of his units are going to get taken out by just this much bigger army. And at this point, I don't think there's anything he can do anymore. He's just too far behind. So let's see if he actually has more resources lost. Yeah, actually Terran lost a little bit more. But it's mainly the income. The income has been behind for, well, the first half of the game. And now he's catching back up. Well, he is ahead in income now because he has one more base going for a longer time. And yeah, because of that, he can actually make it work now. But it is going to take a while. He is building nukes now, or well, at least ghosts. It might actually become a nuke, but nukes are not very effective against, well, someone who's actually paying attention, especially because he has an observer out. And with the observer, the ghost will get spotted pretty easily. Yeah, seeing a red dot on your minimap kind of points out where the ghost is. And since, well, this will do exactly the same thing. Well, obviously not anymore. But yeah, well, because of the way ghosts work, so ghosts have to be very stealthy. And the moment you kind of lose that stealth, you're kind of screwed. But anyhow, the storms go down, and the storms do quite a bit of damage. As you can see, everyone is pretty low. But the charge is not good enough to get through the slow of the marauders if you go one by one. But yeah, this should be good enough. Now he should be able to pick off the entire army, but not so much. The charge is on cooldown. There you go. The charge comes back again, and we are going to just own this army. The zealots are a really nice choice, by the way, because the zealots are well, really not a problem if you lose them. They're quite expendable. They do have charge. Blink would be nice on the Stalker, by the way, because he needs to close the distance a little bit quicker and just well, pick off these medevacts, because the medevacts keep transporting all of these units out, and that is of course not what you want. By the way, we have a fort base coming up here. The fort base is not up yet for the Terran player. This is a third base. And the fort base is now coming up, even though, well, he had that up before. Obviously, this Dark Templar is just going to do very well, because he doesn't get spotted. And there's the rest of the army. He's going to get scanned now, right? Yeah, there you go. And finally, it worked. Finally, he picks up the Dark Templar. More Dark Templar coming out, though. And if, yeah, you only have those scans to defend against this, then that is going to be expensive anyway. I mean, Dark Templar are pretty expensive, but if they can take out one, well, one of the workers and then get scanned, then yeah, it's still worth it. It's definitely still worth it. And wow, what's spotting them? Is there? Oh, there's a missile turret over here, blocking his own mineral patch. Yeah, normally we see missile turrets over here or over here, but not right on the mineral patches. So I didn't really expect that. Anyhow, yeah, we have this one Dark Templar just picking off everything, while the rest of the army is, or while the army is engaging this, well, this other army. And well, I guess the Mothership Core is really becoming popular with people. The Time Warp is of course very good. It's a very useful ability, but it is not like, yeah, a super ability. It's not super great. And wow, this guy just got what, 32 kills. Holy crap. So yeah, getting spotted is apparently not a problem for Dark Templar. Yeah, Dark Templar, even though they get spotted every now and then, they still do a lot of damage. So you still need to take care of them, and yeah, this Terran player really isn't paying attention to his base at all. And yeah, you can scan him all you want, you know he's there. If you don't have units to deal with it, what are you gonna do? And now you have to scan again. But every scan is about 300 minerals, something like that, 325 I believe. And the Dark Templar might actually die here. Yeah, probably. No! It didn't die? Oh my god, it is still going. 47 kills. Can he make it a clean 50? 48, 49, 50, no problem. 51, 52, oh my god. Run, Dark Templar! Oh my god, hero Dark Templar there. And let's see. Yeah, 66 workers killed versus 10 workers killed. This is not going to be very good. Obviously, yeah. He has to surrender. I mean, red player just lost way too much, and there was no way. There was really no way to come back from that. And yeah, even though he was the aggressor for the entire game, he forgot one thing. Let's not defend our workers. Yeah, because that always works out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned that you should defend your workers here. And I will see you next time. GG.